how do I pay employees or contractors when I'm first starting my group practice? So this is a great question, and you're going to need 3 people to help answer this question. I'm going to give you my answer. I always recommend that you talk to an employment lawyer. Employment laws are so specific wherever you live, right? It varies by state to state. It obviously varies by country to country. And so you always want to find a local business employment lawyer, somebody who can help guide you in this process. And then you want to talk to your accountant. You want to make sure however you plan to pay people is going to be feasible for your practice. Your accountant knows your profit loss, they know your expenses, they know your area, they know the taxes you're going to have to pay. They understand tax law, right? And they're going to be really helpful in helping you to decide how to pay people. There are a couple of ways you can pay people, 3 common ways. 3 is the magic number for the day, apparently. So first is to pay a flat rate. Like you're going to pay $50 a session, $60 a session, and that's no matter how much you collect, whether you collect $50 from the client or you collect $200 from the client. There's some pluses and minuses around that. The plus is that it makes it really simple. This is like the easy way, right? Because people will know exactly how much they're being paid for this session. They don't have to worry about all of the other things. The problem becomes if you are an insurance-based practice and you don't get paid, or you have to refund somebody, or you're a private pay practice. And if you're charging $200 an hour and the clinician knows that and they're making $50 an hour, they might feel unhappy about that or have some thoughts about that. And so flat rates I find are really good for registered interns or newer therapists because it's really simple. It's really easy to understand, but I've seen other practices pay a good flat rate for sessions. The next way to pay somebody is to pay a salary. This is really for practices that are not just beginning. These are robust practices maybe that have already done another model and they realize they want to offer more to their employees and they decide to pay a salary. You can find out what the salaries are in your area and pay at or above that. Usually comes with a slew of benefits, and you let people know how many clients they have to see a week, a month, whatever your number is, in order to achieve that salary. The pluses of that is people feel like therapists feel really comfortable with salaries. A lot of people want salaries, totally get that, right? If you've worked in an agency, you're used to having a salary. You know what money exactly is going to come in no matter what. The minuses of that is if your clinicians don't hit their goals or there's something else that maybe happens. And so there can be a lot of variability in the revenue that you bring in. So you want to make sure that you're not promising too high of a salary that doesn't match the revenue so that the practice isn't profitable. But I've seen it very common for salaries, again, for postdoctoral candidates in practices, very common, or again, practices that have been around for a while, very robust and can offer that to their clinicians. I'm going to give you the 3rd common way to pay contractors or employees, but first I want to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you're looking for an electronic health record that will make it so easy for you to run your solo or your group practice, I want you to check out TherapyNotes. You can bill insurance directly through there. You can take credit card payments directly through there. They have a processing connected. You can do your telehealth sessions for free through there. My favorite thing is the reporting. If you've seen my videos before, I rave about the reporting, especially at the group practice level. I can find everything I need right in the reporting. So I highly recommend TherapyNotes for your private practice. So let's go back. The 3rd common way that people pay is a percentage. They will pay anywhere from, I've seen 50%, as low maybe as 45% for like an unlicensed clinician in a private pay practice, up to 70%. Usually don't see higher than 70%. Anything above 70% is not going to be usually profitable for the group practice owner, so it doesn't make sense to pay more than 70%. So even if you have a W-2 employee, you can still pay a percentage depending on where you live, depending on what your laws are. So you're paying them a percentage of the revenue that they are bringing in. And basically, it is done off of volume. So the more clients they see, the more money that they would make. Or if they want to keep a smaller caseload, they would still get the same percentage. The pluses of that is that people really feel like, hey, if I have higher paying clients, I'm doing a lot of work. I really am getting a lot from this. So they know that exactly, like if they're getting 70% or even 60%, they know that they are getting like, let's call it a fair share of what they're making. Even at 50-50, I've seen a lot of practices do 50-50 when they are private pay practices. It's very common, either at the W-2 or contractor level. And 50-50 in a private pay practice is a really fair rate because of the amount of marketing that usually has to go into private pay practices. They usually have to have a higher marketing budget, so that differentiation goes there. But the rates are higher. They charge as much as $200 an hour. So at 50-50, the clinician gets $100 an hour, which is usually a really fair rate for a clinician not to have any expenses in there. So those are the 3 ways to pay clinicians. Again, you've got my advice. Talk to your accountant, talk to your employment lawyer, and good luck building your group practices. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.